Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a pleasant day to each and everyone. I am Hailon Lang Kumakari, and in this video, I'll be discussing the characteristics, taxonomy, and evolution of class Amphibia or Amphibian. Approximately 8,100 species of living amphibians are known. Today, amphibians are represented by Order Anura includes the frogs and toads. Order Caudata includes newts and salamanders. And Order Gymnophiona includes the caecilians. These three orders of living amphibians are thought to derive from a single radiation of ancient amphibians, and although strikingly different in body form, they are probably the closest relative to one another. One alternative hypothesis proposes that fin limbs were used by early terrestrial vertebrates to move from drying pool to drying pool. This hypothesis is largely discounted because of other terrestrial adaptation required to survive an arduous and desiccating journey. The transformation of vertebrates from an aquatic lifestyle to a terrestrial one extended over more than 80 million years from the early Devonian into the early Pennsylvanian epoch. Okay, so what are amphibians? Ectothermic tetrapods that have a biphasic life cycle consisting of anamniotic eggs, they often aquatic, and a terrestrial adult stage. They belong to kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, class Amphibia, and orders like Anura, Chordata, and Gymnophiona. Okay, so the characteristics of amphibia. Cutaneous respiration involves oxygen and carbon dioxide transfer further moist. Family Plethodontidae are the lungless salamanders. They have gills and lungs, while the skin glands have mucus glands, glandular glands, and the other glands are nuptial and wax, but not in all species. Stapes and operculum are the two elements of middle ear, while the papillae basilaris and papillae amphibiorium are the two sensory epithelial patches of inner ear. Screen rods in retina involved in hue discrimination and other light receptors. Focus eye by changing positions of lens has levator bulbi underlying the eye control elevation. Bicuspid pedicellate teeth have crown. Pedicel and new crown emerges from pedicel. Reductions in skull bones is general trend associated with pedomorphosis. So the modern orders of amphibia. So as you can see in the diagram, the Gymnophiona has 167 species with a total of 3% Sicilians. Caudata has 559 species with a total of 9% caudates, while the Anura has 5,420 with a total of 88% Anurans. So among the three order, the Anurans has the highest number of species. The characteristics of Gymnophiona includes limbless, elongate and annulated bodies, degenerate eyes, and internal fertilization. Their tentacle are between eye and nostril. A left lung reduced or absent. Some are with dermal scales and distinct skulls. Cicilida has 95 species. They have stegocortaphic skull and most are fossorial. And Typhlonectidae has 14 species. They have zygocortaphic skull and strongly aquatic and viviparous. The Cicilidae and Typhlonectidae are both primary annuli and they both have no true tail, while the Ectiophidae has 38 species. They have stegocortaphic skull and the females attend eggs, and Rhinatrimatidae has 9 species. They have zygocortaphic skull and they both primary annuli with secondary and tertiary grooves, and they both has true tail. The Scolicomorphidae has 6 species. They are primary annuli They have zygocrotophic skull and they have no true tail, and some of them are viviparous. While the Eurytyphlidae has 5 species, they are primary annulate with secondary groups. They have zygocrotophic skull and they have a true tail. The phylogeny of Gymnophiona includes Rhina Trematidae, Ethiopidae, Eurytyphlidae, Scolicomorphidae, Sicilidae, and Typhlonectidae. The tails and superficially segmented bodies, well-developed limbs, internal fertilization, larval development external, pheromones in lac tympanum, and middle ear are the characteristics of caudata. The Plethodontidae has 378 species. They have cutaneous respiration, nasolabial groove, and their eggs are usually guarded, while the Salamandridae has 74 species. They have lungs, and their skin is toxic and brightly colored, and they are a free-swimming larvae. Hynobidae has 51 species, external fertilization, and their reduced lungs and teeth are in patches. And Ambystomatidae has 32 species. They are high terrestrial, and they are primarily winter breeders and aquatic courtship. Protidae has 6 species, and they obligate paidomorphic, and they have depressed body and external gills, while the Serenidae has 4 species, and they also obligate paidomorphic and external fertilization. They lack pelvic girdles, eyelids, and they have pedicellate teeth and premaxillary beak. Rheacontritonidae has 4 species. They are semi-aquatic and they have no operculum. They reduce lungs and they have bright yellow abdomina. Dicamptodontidae has 4 species, and they are the large living terrestrial salamanders and worm-eating teeth. The Amphibiomidae has 3 species, and they obligate pedomorphic, and they have no external gills and number of toes, while the Cryptobranchidae has 4 species, and they obligate pedomorphic, and they have no external gills, and they have excessive skin and external fertilization. They have lidless eyes and no tongue pad. The phylogeny of Chordata are the Plethodontidae, Amphiomidae, Rheocotritonidae, Ambystomatidae, Dicamptodontidae, Salamandridae, Protidae, Sirenidae, the Hynobidae, and Cryptobranchidae, and Anur. So here is the characteristics of species that are belong to order Anura. They have shortened presacral vertebrae. Their ribs are reduced and presacral vertebrae firmly articulated. Large hind limbs and they have no tail. External fertilization and they have flat heads and large mouths and vocal sacs in males. The Leptodactylidae has 1,283 species, neotropics and subtropics, and male brood eggs and foam nest, while the Hylidae has 835 species, toes disc, their toes is disc, and they are a good climbers and jumpers, and they are also a free swimming tadpoles. Ranidae has 799 species, and they have a well-developed legs and webbed feet, and they are also a free swimming tadpoles. Buffinidae has 493 species, cutaneous glands, and their teeth are nearly absent, and Beeder's organ. The Microhylidae has 449 species, and mostly are tropical and subtropical. 2 to 3 palatal folds and breviceps secretions, while the Rhacophoridae has 288 species, and their foam nest is hanging. They are convergent with hylids, and they are flying frogs. The Hyperonidae has 261 species. Their pupil is vertically elliptical and their toe disc is brightly colored and some fold leaves over eggs. The Dendrobatidae has 252 species and they are brightly colored and their skin is toxic. The males wrestle for dominance and tadpoles ride on males' back. The Mantellidae has 165 species and they also have brightly colored and their skin is also toxic. They converged evolutionary with dendrobites. While the Centrolenidae has 143 species. Their skin is transparent and their eggs are guarded by males overstream. The Megophryidae has 138 species and they have leaf-like appearance. They are poor jumpers and nocturnal and tadpoles. The Myobactrachidae has 126 species. Their foam nest is in water. They have unique egg brooding and Rheobatrachus. The Arthroleptidae has 51 species, previously a part of Ranidae and direct development, while the Pipidae has 31 species and they are fully aquatic frogs. They have webbed feet and long fingers with keratinized tips, and their eyes is dorsal and they have no tongue. The Astylosternidae has 29 species and they have horizontal pupils and toe disc and hairy frog. The Discoglosidae has 12 species and the males carries eggs on hind legs while the females vocalize some and toad-like. The Pilobatidae has 11 species and they have xeric environments and explosive breeding and fast developing larvae while the Brachycephalidae has 11 species and all direct development, reduced digits, and most are bright orange. The Bumbinatoridae has 10 species and they are found in Europe and East Asia. Their skin is toxic and barbarolous. The Hemisotidae has 9 species. Burrows head first, lay eggs in burrow and females dig ditch. The Heliophrenidae has 6 species, fast-flowing streams, and they have well-developed toe disc, spines, and sucker-like oral disc, while the Zooglosidae has 29 species, inguinal aplexus, and secretive and direct development, and tadpoles are on their back. The Leopelmatidae has 4 species. They are found in New Zealand and they are primitive group and inscriptional ribs. The Pilotidae has 3 species and they have bulging eyes, parsley color and the females reported vocalizing when amplexed. The Ascaphidae has 2 species, fast-moving streams, and cloacal extension, and most are primitive extant family, while the Rhinodermatidae has 2 species. The tadpoles developed in vocal sac and rhinoceros nose. The Allophrenidae has only 1 species, Centrolenidae, and little known about its ecology, while the Nasica and Rhinophrenidae has only 1 species also, and fossorial and exclusive breeders. The, the Rhinophrenidae is termite and unspecialist and no teeth. So here is the phylogeny of order Anura. The evolutionary history of amphibians involved the events in geologic history, the fish to tetrapods, and the tetrapods to amphibians. So here is the fossil record of amphibian that is shown in the diagram, as you can see. So the first amphibian are the Mississippian, and that is 350 million years ago, while the modern amphibians are the late Permian, and that is 250 million years ago. The evolutionary transitions of amphibians. So the first tetrapods appeared in the Devonian, that is 400 million years ago. They are tropical or subtropical latitude and primitive plants and arthropods. So how did the fish emerge on land? So the fish emerged on land because of low oxygen levels, periodic droughts, and they find food or evade predators. The fish to tetrapods. Eusthenopteron is pelagic and have internal nostrils and distinct humerus, ulna, and radius, and femur, tibia, and fibula. The Panderectes have long snout and dorsal eyes and reduced medium fins, while the Tiktaalik have more developed limbs with wrist and finger bones, and have robust rib cage, have lungs and gills, and their neck is separated from their body. The Ichthyostega is piscivorous, and they have links that is likely used for navigating. And their tail is for balance, and they have skeletal structure and lungs. While the Acanthostega is piscivorous also, and they are fish-like, and they have limbs likely used for padding, and the skeletal structure, and gills and lungs, and eat digits. So in this figure, we could see that the fish to tetrapods have evolved and diverse, especially with their skull, jaw, their tail, and their body shape and body structure. The evolutionary gap. So in this figure, it says that 30 million year gap in the fossil record for tetrapods, and the relationships between Devonian and Carboniferous tetrapods obscured. The Temnospondylus amphibians is only 1.5 to 2 meter long, and they belong to Carboniferous and Permian periods. They have bicuspid pedicellate teeth and have lungs in cutaneous respiration. They are likely piscivorous, and they engulf their prey. They are not a strong swimmer or fast tetrapod, and their shoulder is disconnected from their skull. The Lipospondylus amphibians belong to Carboniferous and Permian periods. The Nectridia is mostly aquatic, and they are resembled newts, and some of them with triangular heads. And they are small fish and aquatic invertebrates, while the Lysaurophidae is elongate body, and they are diminutive limbs. They have diminutive limbs and fenestrated skull. The phylogenetic hypothesis is shown in this figure. So these are the fossil record of Lysamphibia. The Anurans was originated in Madagascar at early Triassic period. For example, is the Triadopatrachus macenote, and the salamanders was originated in Kazakhstan at late Jurassic period. For example, is the Karuwa sharubi, while the Sicilians was originated in Gondwanaland at the late Cretaceous period. For example, is the Apodops prisi. These are the historical biography of class Amphibia. Alfred Wegener was the one who proposed the continental drift theory. In this figure, it shows the continental drift and how Sicilians have evolved and diverse. This is the overall summary of this lecture video.